Hi everybody, John here from All Miniatures Great and Small, and today we're going to continue our look at Black Seas, the Age of Sail game from Warlord Games. This box is a single ship, the USS Constitution, my favorite sailing ship, and I'm sure that opinion's shared by many. This box, I picked it up on sale, but I think retail it's pretty pricey. It's like $35, something like that. And one of the reasons why I probably stayed away from this game initially. Whether I pursue it any further, I don't know until I get some games in. But let's go ahead and open it up. Actually, let's look on the back and see what we're supposed to have in here. We get one resin and metal USS Constitution model ship, sails and wake sheets, flag sheet, rigging thread, printed acetate rat lines, and a Constitution ship card. All right. So this is packed by Ronnie. Thank you, Ronnie. Appreciate your hard work. You've got your flags. You've got some way to get into this bag. There we go. You've got your ship card. Your acetate rat lines. Not sure how this will go, but we'll definitely find out. You've got your little, I think the back called this a wake template of some kind. Looks like it might be for measuring distance. You've got your sails. Again, cardstock. Darker on one side, lighter on the other. You've got your assembly guide, which is pretty straightforward. No building the hull like the plastic ships. That's just one piece. And some guides for working with resin, which is always good. Mentioning that you might need some cleanup and you should wash it. Very good advice for any person working with resin. And you've got a boatload of American flags. We've got another spool of rigging thread, which if you saw my unboxing of the Master and Commander set, I really appreciate that they put this in here. Really good touch. Then we have the hull and all the metal bits. So let's take a look at the hull first. Now, the USS Constitution is a very famous warship, still in active service on the U.S. Navy rolls. She's currently in Boston, Massachusetts. I had a work trip there several years ago, and actually this was my number one thing to do on my list in Boston, was go to the Constitution. So my wife and I went out there one cold afternoon and had a great time checking it out. Maybe I'll post some pictures of the real Constitution. But man, that's great detail. The decking might be oversized for real life or not, I'm not sure, probably, but it makes it so that it is paintable. Smooth finish on the bottom. I don't see any bubbles or it looks pretty clean on the back. Let's see. Got the name of the ship. I think the Constitution sister ship can be found in the there's like a fleet box for the Americans. The Constitution was a 44-gun frigate, so she's a heavy frigate, big frigate, but she's no ship of the line. Which, again, I really haven't played this game, so I'm not sure how they're going to handle something like the British are able to take the HMS Victory, which is like 102 guns. How does an American player compete with that? Or are they meant to? Alright, so you've got all your masts. This is interesting. The mast is all, well, each mast is only one piece. There's a lot of flashing, but this kind of flashing is very easy to, you know, oftentimes you just take it off with your finger. But, you know, trim it off with an X-Acto knife or a saw, and particularly these thicker pieces. And then a light sanding and you should be fine. Looks like there's a lot more work to be done with the sails than the hull. The hull probably just needs a good wash in soapy water, but you know, this is fine and kind of what you expect. And then you got boats, you've got anchors, and that is meant to cover that, I believe. Lots of detail. So there you go. That's a look at the starter set for, or the ship box for the USS Constitution. All right, so two things I guess to talk about. First is the quality. Quality looks fantastic. Constitution is a great ship, and historically, she's a no-brainer to have in the game. Now the question is the price. I double checked, and the retail price for this box is $38, and it looks like all of their single ship, like the historical ones, like the Victory, is only sold in a box like this for $38. The Spanish 130 gun, the name escapes me at the moment, $38 US. And that's pretty pricey. The starter box, which costs $70 retail, has 3 frigates and 6 brigs, plus the rules and all that other cool stuff. So this is more than half of the cost of the starter box. That said, could you play this game without the Constitution, without the Victory? Probably. Now, I looked online, and they do sell a U.S. fleet box, which I mentioned earlier, for, I believe it's like $96 US retail. So the fleet box for the Americans includes 2 overgunned resin frigates, the President in the United States, 3 plastic frigates, 6 plastic brigs, 1 bomb ship base, a selection of metal figureheads and backplates for famous U.S. ships like the Chesapeake, Congress, and Constellation, U.S. flags, and the game cards and wake markers you'd need for that. So what's interesting is, I'm sure that since they're sister ships of the Constitution, the President and the United States are probably the same, if not, well, they have different backplates, but they look identical, or close enough. And they're sister ships. There might be some cosmetic differences, but it's going to be the same size, the same thing we're talking about. So you get 2 of these. Plus you get basically the contents of the starter box again. You get 3 plastic frigates, 6 plastic brigs, which, you know, if you say each one of these is 38, and the plastic ships from the starter box are, you know, a good chunk of that value, either the fleet box is a great value, or these guys are just way too expensive. I mean, I'm kind of leaning on the fact that these guys are way too expensive. It looks like the British and French starter boxes are a little bit more expensive, but they have some bigger ships. They have like 74 gun, 100 gun, you know, first rate and third rate ships. So those look like better deals. So it looks like if you want to play the game, You can do it somewhat inexpensively by just staying away from these types of boxes and just get the fleet box, the starter box. You know, if you just want to play frigates, just get a couple of starter boxes. If you want some of the bigger ships, maybe look at the French or British. I'm not sure if there's a Spanish starter box or not, but our fleet box, and take it from there. But there you go. I've kind of gone off on a little diatribe there, so I'm sorry. But I do love this model. It looks great. Alright guys, so there you go. That is a look at the USS Constitution for Black Seas. 1/700 scale, if I didn't mention it earlier. As always, I'd like to mention, please check us out on Facebook at All Miniatures Great and Small. You can always check in on what we're doing. We appreciate you following us there. Also here on YouTube, a like and subscribe is most appreciated. Please also click that bell so you can receive notification when we publish new content. As always, thanks for watching and keep on wargaming.